Bad,
18.
bad, 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 bad. Chat.
Place
Chat.
your bets, please.
Chat. All right, yeah, hit me over here. Chat, what up? Chat, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let
Not
me see.
blackjack.
All right, bet. Hit me.
18.
Yes, sir. We finna stand on that.
14. 18.
Ooh. Ooh, okay. Okay. Let me see what else we got.
Place your bets, please.
Yeah, I'm finna go crazy. Why not? Why not? Chat, we gonna talk about something today,
18.
bro. We gotta talk about some stuff today. Where we at? We at? I ain't gonna lie, yeah, definitely just stand on that.
12. 20.
Fuck! Damn. Alright.
Place your bets, please.
Nah, let me do that. Let me double up on that jump, bro. Alright, actually, yeah, we finna rock out with that right now.
15.
Sheesh! And just like that.
Place your bets, please.
And just like that, I keep forgetting my camera's right over here. We finna, yeah, let me do that again. Let me do that second time, bro. Let me do that second time. All right, bet.
Not blackjack. Busted.
Nice. First of all, yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Damn.
You busted.
20.
20.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
14. Dealer busted.
Hey, listen, happy accidents, right?
Place your bets, please.
Yeah, let me do that one. Let me get that.
Blackjack.
All right,
18.
yeah.
12. 13. 20.
Damn. All right, that's all good. It's all good. What up, chat? What up, chat?
Place your bets, please.
What chat? What we should do? We should do. I'm gonna go 1-6 again, bro. All right.
Not blackjack. 20.
All right.
16.
Ah!
17.
All right.
17.
Okay. Okay.
Place your bets, please.
We finna go 1-6 again.
Ten. 18.
This boy here. All right. First off.
20.
Yeah. Yep.
9. 15.
Yeah. Straight like that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Place your bets, please.
I'm gonna go again, bro. I'm gonna double it up. We gonna double it up. Come on.
Not blackjack.
Bet.
19.
Ooh, okay. Hit me.
19.
Yeah, I'm standing on that. Hey, you said not blackjack?
12. Dealer busted.
Oh me! You know?
Place your bets, please.
Yeah, I'm finna do that. I'm finna do the same joint again. Give me that joint a second time, baby. What that mean? I don't know what that mean.
Blackjack.
All right. But it's all good though. Chat. That one is all good. We can eat that. I don't know what that burning the first
Place
card.
your bets, please.
I want more. Give me that max. Max me out, baby.
Not blackjack. Busted.
All right, this one we finna do. We finna stand on that.
20.
Damn! Well, you know what we gotta do. Y'all know what we gotta do.
Please.
We gotta bet the max again, bro. We gotta bet the max again. Cause like, come on, gang.
15.
Alright, he's sitting on that. Dog, I'm so alright. I'm gonna stand on it.
14.
Yeah! You know, come up. Okay, so look, this is what we're finna do.
Bets, please.
No, I don't want to do a max again. Let me switch him up. Let me just do a stack. I just want to do a stack. Reset a little bit of energies, you know? All right. Man. That's not good enough for me.
20.
Woo! Now that is
10. 17.
Brick Squad, you know. I keep forgetting, bro.
Place your bets, please.
Cam is right here, bro. All right, chat. Double it. You know I gotta double it. Come on. You're not gonna hit, bro. Right. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah.
15. 16. 21.
But it's only the two. Now see, part of me was like, I should double it on that one. I'm glad I ain't listening to myself. Always go with your gut. You gonna give me something?
14.
Oh, now you gotta give me something else.
You
hey
busted.
Man, listen, I could deal with that one. I ain't even gonna hold you. You can't. You're not gonna win no game with no damn 13, 14, bro. It's just not finna happen. Yeah. Let me do the 2 again.
Ensure that?
No. Especially because you got this over here.
Blackjack.
Do you see what I'm saying? I had that feel. I'm sitting over here like, bro.
Place your bets, please.
Let me do that too.
7. 17.
Ooh. Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
21.
Brother. All right, we need to come back.
Bets,
yeah, we need to come back, bro. We need a major comeback. Let's go. Ooh.
13.
What I tell you, okay. All right, look, chat. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna win one more game, and then gonna go ahead and watch a video or two real quick. Hit a quick reaction. Not blackjack. All right.
10. 13. 18.
Yikes. Put me in a spot, huh? You know what I'm gonna do. I know.
20.
I mean, listen. Was finna lose that one regardless. You know.
Place your bets, please.
Yeah, hit me with that.
13.
Yep.
Busted.
Busted. Hit me.
19.
Yeah, we're going to stand on that.
14. Dealer busted.
Okay, so, chat. Let's go ahead. Yeah, we're going to go.
Place your bets, please.
No. Lobby. All right, chat. So, look, this is what we're finna do. All right. Finna go ahead right now. We finna go ahead and get right into reacting right quick, bro. That's what we finna do. Damn, what is this? Come on. Yeah. Okay, so today what we want to talk about, right? We gonna watch a video by the homie O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. All right. And today we gonna be talking about that boy Stevie Knight. That boy Stevie Knight, who doesn't understand what it is he need to be doing. What is this? Can I rename this shit? Let me see. We can do that later. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it, all right? See what's going on over here.
On April 19th, 2016, Donald Trump was at a presidential rally in Michigan. And what we heard that day was the famous slogan, "What do you have to lose?" In August 2016, he did it again.
What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What?
Everything. 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 Do you hear me? You have everything to lose. Do you see what's going on outside right now? Y'all play around if y'all want to, bro.
What do you have to lose? I say it again. What do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no job.
Man, I think I might talk about this over. Matter of fact, this stream might actually might be live on TikTok right now. If you are seeing this over on TikTok, what's going on? But let's take that back. Let's take it back to what he just said just now. Let's take it back to what was just said just now, bro.
I say it again. What do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty.
A lot of people still are.
Your school.
Actually, they're living worse because economically everything is way more expensive because of tariffs that you just decided to do, that they swore up and down was going to somehow like fix. Bro.
Schools are no good.
And you're trying to just close all of the public schools. You're just trying to close all the public schools so everyone has to go to private schools, which costs money, which no one has a lot of right now because of how bad the economy is. But you know, that's just that's neither here nor there.
You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed.
Again, have you seen what things look like since this man has gotten in there?
What the do you have to lose?
Now, again, we hear this positioning. He's saying you're living in poverty. The schools are a mess. What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? Now, for those of us who are from the black community, we could infer that's who he's talking to. And of course, with black people historically voting Democrat the last 40 or 50 years, then it makes sense because crime was high, poverty was high, especially in most major large cities where blacks are at: Detroit, Chicago, New York City, etc., Memphis. So what?
And is it high in those areas because those people just normally just want to do that? Or was it high in those areas because there was poverty in those areas? See, it's very ironic and very convenient, right? How whenever it's convenient for people like this to basically bring things up about whatever's going on in whatever low income area, they always leave out the low income part and how low income areas have higher crime rates. because people don't have as much money there.
What do you have to lose? Because, in other words, you're going to continue to have the same thing you got now. You can't get any worse.
Yeah, how'd that work out? Did things not get any worse? Did things not get any worse at all? Or did they get exponentially worse? Did more of your dollar start going to places that you've never been to, you have no interest in ever going to, and people who you have no interest in really interacting with like that? Because why would you? Because it's somewhere else on the planet. That's not where you are.
Might as well try Trump. And this messaging coming from Donald Trump did more good than actually bad. And the reason is because he's direct. Donald Trump is completely direct, almost unapologetically direct.
Direct does not mean correct. Direct doesn't mean correct. And do you see that? You see this here? Look at this. Look at this. New data shows historic gains made by the president among this racial demographic. It's on the way. It's don't worry. We're gonna get to the Stevie Knight part. I'm sure. Listen, I'm trying to let you cook, O'Shea, but I ain't gonna lie. Right now, you sounding real. You know.
And black people really love this tell it how it is personality, especially if it's coming from a non-black person. Even if you don't like me, if you tell it how it is, I can respect you. And while most blacks didn't respect Donald Trump, it did get some blacks to respect him. And then we started to see the burgeoning of particular black conservatives such as Anthony Brian Logan in 2015.
Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at these dudes. Like, look at these morons, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. This right here, this is peak clownery.
Then later on, we would see Brandon Tatum and then Candace Owens. But those black conservatives were coming out and talking about the black community in ways that most people hadn't heard. And so many other blacks started to be inspired because black conservatives were then telling black people, you have a victim mentality. These things aren't stopping you. You are the only ones holding yourself back. It's not white people. And that particular talking point resonated with a lot of blacks who held a certain level of contempt for black Americans. Fast forward. This brings me to the Alba.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to get to the good part.
Preach situation when there was a debate with a young man by the name of Night Talk. The debate had to do with, school lunches. And now Alba, who is from Canada, is more liberal. This brother Night Talk is from Georgia, and he's a black.
Yo, what part of Georgia is Stevie Knight from, bro? Because I ain't gonna hold you. For him to be sitting over there saying everything that he was saying about like school lunch and about how the kids don't really need like public school lunch. Like you must have been in the nice part of Georgia, bro. You couldn't have been there. You couldn't have been near nobody low income areas, bro. There's no way that you could have been over there. Cause you would have literally only been able to get here through that. The vast majority of this country, that's what we grew up eating in school at some point in time, bro. That's how you got here. So how you could look people dead in the face and why you don't understand that, but Canadian ABBA does is crazy. Crazy, Stevie.
Guy who typically was on the left and of course became on the right. And how he did it was very interesting.
But there was a point where before I had this transition of perspective and I was more of a liberal. I can't even say I was more of a liberal, bro. I've always had conservative values, man.
This man has never, ever been liberal on any type of position. I guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. Not saying stuff as strongly as he's been saying it. You don't just like up and just randomly feel this kind of way. Nah, this how you've been feeling pretty much your whole entire life, bro.
But as far as the race element and the black power element and the victim mindset, I was thoroughly immersed in it. That was my perspective, man. And anything that went against the way that I viewed the world, I deemed the devil.
Now, this guy is saying that at first he didn't like Brandon Tatum, but he started to listen to Brandon Tatum, and then from there he understood that Brandon Tatum was right, and then he continued to discuss his journey.
Me and hell, the majority of my close ones have not gone through anything remotely close to what our ancestors has gone through, bro.
So because you yourself haven't been in chains, I guess that means racism just doesn't exist anymore, I guess. See, this is my problem when it comes to specifically like the conservative like mind, bro. They don't seem to understand that the very thing that they accuse the left of doing all the time is a thing that they do, but way more. So they accuse the left all the time of basically only ever, only ever talking about things through like an anecdotal lens. By anecdotal, I mean, if someone else is talking about numbers and statistics and everything is supposed to be about like facts don't care about your feelings, they say that the left basically only ever talks about like, how they feel about a situation. And you know what? In some situations, that might be a valid criticism. But in a lot of them, it's not. In a lot of cases, they try to bring up actual facts. And this is a prime example of it. This man over here is now butthurt because ABBA is basically going scorched earth on him for having positions that don't even make sense for him, like as a human. Like I watched some of I'm not going to even sit over here and act like I watched that whole entire debate, but I watched some of it. And the bit that I did see, all right, this man really did sit over there and go, well, I don't care about any of this stuff. I don't care about abortion. I don't care about any of that. Also though, it's wrong. Do you see you see how problematic that is? Like, you see, it's like, bro, all right, so if you gonna make a position, at least make a position. At least stand on something. But this whole like, oh, I don't have an opinion on anything. But also, F whatever that thing is.
But we wear it, we live it, we learn it, we're submerged into it, so it's impossible to pull you out. And there's no way you can talk somebody out of that. And I remember talking to this person, he's like, man, there's nothing you can tell them. It's like talking to a wall, and it is. It is.
The irony, because ABBA tried to explain this situation to him in about as many ways as he possibly could. He didn't want to listen to that information. He didn't think it was important. He didn't think, he brought up the idea of there being more abortions in this country than there are starving children or children who suffer from food insecurity, which is basically, yeah, you don't have food. You're starving. And it's so crazy because it's just like, man, any of us who ever went to public school, any of those kinds of schools can identify, even if you went to like a private school or something like that, y'all can identify with seeing kids who went back up to like the line in school 2-3 times to get whatever food it was that was up there. You didn't understand it at the time. You thought bro was just greedy. You did. You thought bro was just greedy. Whole time, this might be the one time that bro eats today. He might get back to the house and there might not be that much food at the house. Or maybe he's in a situation where he doesn't really know where he's even going to be staying. Maybe he gets back to the house and the little bit of food that is over there only stretches for a certain number of days. Like, that's crazy, bro.
But it bothers the hell out of me, but knowing that fact now, because that's really what is keeping everybody down. That's what's keeping the entire black community down, is that mindset, that perspective, because we still live under that cap, under that box.
Like, it's so wild to me, man. It's so wild to me. I can't even hold you. Because it's just like, man, to genuinely believe. And it's crazy because it's like, man, they tend to accuse everyone else of living in echo chambers, but simultaneously, they live in like the biggest echo chamber. Like the echo chamber of the left is normally not like the single most like popular opinion around, right? Nah, this stuff right here, there's entire spaces for conversations like this where people will tell you that you're based if you have opinions like this. And that basically everyone who ever experiences any kind of negativity regarding their race, their gender, sexuality, any of it, nationality, basically these people are making it up and it's all inside of their minds. Like, all right, bro. Have you read a book, Stevie? Have you picked up a book? Have you ever looked into a history book? Have you ever looked at the thing? Like, I promise you, Stevie's one of those dudes who thinks that slavery lasted for like 100 years. Guarantee you, Stevie Knight thinks that slavery lasted roughly 100, maybe like 120 years. It was literally 400 plus. It's the very foundation of the country that you live in. And the side that you are doing the most tricks on, all right, I'm talking about you doing stuff that I haven't seen Tiana Trump do for this side. Yeah, that side wants your entire history basically erased. But they want to just completely like basically whitewash it. They want to make it seem like it was some nice happily agreed upon thing. They want to make it seem like this was a good thing that happened. I've heard all kinds of things about stuff like this. I'm talking about everything like from slavery happened so we could find out about who Jesus was to slavery happened so we could stop worshiping those polytheistic demonic gods. I've heard all kinds of things about this, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you. The only way that you can stay in this level of delusion is if you are literally constantly surrounded by people who are feeding this to you. And in his case, he feeds it to himself. He talks about it. The comment section swallows. He goes, I just did a thing. I'm saying some really cool stuff. Everyone must agree with me. I must be on the right side of history. So on and so forth, bro.
He said it was the victim mentality that black people just needed to come out of that was really just so bad. And, now he felt that he was free after getting out of this situation. Yeah. But then something else is interesting.
And once I got out, man, I was so embarrassed about how I used to be. You know what I'm saying? How weak I looked, bruh. Talking to homies, like people that aren't black, that would never confront.
Notice what he just said. Talking to homies, people that aren't black. Right, because black people would hold you accountable for saying these things. You wouldn't say these things in front of black people. And it's so funny, right? Because he probably tells himself that the reason why he wouldn't say these things in front of black people is because they would just fight him on it. And it's like, yes, that's what would happen. They would indeed fight you on it. But rightfully so. You showed up to this debate with Aber and were completely unprepared. And it's so wild because I'm pretty sure you were probably one of the main people that wanted to do the thing. The heck does Aber get from like debating you? Not that much, not really. If I'm being honest with you, there's a bunch of people who have opinions like yours who probably already follow Abba and Preach, because Abba and Preach tend to be very like there. It's so funny. The thing that O'Shea was saying about just like saying what's on your mind, that's actually what Abba and Preach do. Regardless of whatever the outcome is going to be, they'll do that.
Me about how weak I looked to them when I was living in that black box.
Let's run that back, gang. Nah, we gonna run that back. Listen to what he just said.
Front me about how weak talking to homies, like people that aren't black, that would never confront me about how weak I looked to them when I was living in that black box.
talking to homies that aren't black about how weak I look to them because they would never confront me about how weak I looked to them. You don't find that ironic, Stevie? You don't find it like a little bit ironic that you go, yeah, so then I was talking to some friends who go, hey, bro, yeah, I didn't want to tell you how much of a pussy you were being back in the day. That's why I didn't respect you. I didn't want to tell you how much of a pussy you were being. Who's being the pussy here, Stevie? Like, you also were being a pussy in this case, but I'm talking about in the case of what you just said. Who's a bigger coward? You, the black man who has beliefs that are very much probably based at one point in time in some level of historical fact, right? Especially if you had certain feelings towards certain parts of like the establishment, right? Or the people who aren't going to say anything to you because they're afraid of the scary black man. Who's the bigger coward here? But you're worried about the opinion of those cowards. Crazy, man. Crazy work.
He then talks about the fact that once he started to talk to non-black people, he felt bad because of how he used to interact with them. And now, because he's a black conservative, or he's no longer blaming racism for all of his issues. Now he feels like he's free and he's standing up for himself as a man and, things like that, right? He doesn't feel like he's an idiot anymore. And I kind of want to talk about that because this is what many black conservatives try to tell black people, that, hey, you need to stop having a victim mentality. You need to come over to the right, or even to the Republican Party. And if you do this, your life will change. And I want to talk about Republicans in the sense, right? Because what makes somebody a Republican or Democrat is typically ideological issues. And that's the reason why I vote Republican. Limited government, right? That's number one. Emphasis on reducing regulations and bureaucracy. Strong belief that free markets and private enterprise solve problems better than government programs. I definitely believe that. Fiscal responsibility. Lower taxes, especially on business individuals, as a way to encourage investment and growth. True, all right? Traditional social values, okay? I mean, like, I'm a Christian, but again, you will see that a lot of it is rooted in Christianity, opposition to abortion, strong national defense and patriotism, individual liberty and personal responsibility, free market capitalism, law and order, okay?
The number of things that he just mentioned that are literally responsible for why we are where we are right now, where people can't afford things, they can't afford to buy houses, they can't afford to get married, they can't afford to do the vast majority of things that they would really want to do. And all of the people who are getting tax write-offs are literally millionaires and billionaires. And then even brought up how it's so obviously closely tied to Christianity, which has an entire chokehold on the black community in a way that I personally honestly, I'm gonna talk about that over here, y'all. We gonna talk about like the chokehold that Christianity has on the black community, because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's bad. It's bad. The chokehold of Christian nationalism in Black America, or on Black America, is so strong that it's made us literally vote against our own interests for who knows how long, bro. But especially in the case of this most recent election, it literally makes you vote against your own interests all the time. All the time, bro.
This is typically what they do. Now, Democrats are different. Democrats believe in equality and inclusion. Okay, strong focus on civil rights and anti-discrimination. Now, I do believe in that, but a lot of that is also aimed at racial minorities, women, LGBTQ, immigrants, stuff like that. Okay.
Notice, right? Notice how he said that. And admittedly, I will absolutely give him that. But notice how none of those things were mentioned on the other side. And notice how when he mentioned all of those things that were mentioned on the other side, not one of them were aimed at the black community. So you vote in favor of all of those things being given to people. And your side never addresses the black community. They never, outside of just going, hey, you're poor, what do you have to lose? There's nothing given to you. There's no specific thing given to you at all. And this is an even more loaded conversation because listen, y'all gotta understand, man. Make no mistake, I don't like either of you. Genuinely, there is absolutely one side that is way worse. I will absolutely say that. However, when I tell you that neither of these sides, for the most part, is ever interested in black liberation, I am entirely serious. I don't like that the options that we have are the ones that basically just give us like whatever scraps they want. You're always an afterthought, even though you're a huge block. You're a huge thought during that election cycle. But once I'm in there, yeah, F off. Every single time, bro. Every single time. It's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting.
Economic fairness, healthcare as a right, education opportunity, environmental protection, social liberalism like pro-choice, immigration and diversity is big. So again, even some of these things I agree with. But what happens is when a lot of these black conservatives start to talk about limiting their mindset, the difference is they're still stuck. If you go to the Republican Party like Brandon Tatum has, or to the conservative movements, now I vote Republican, I'm not MAGA, all right? And the reality is, if you don't own what you have, you're still down bad, okay? And I want to explain this because I've asked a guy a very interesting question.
I remember hearing that, and then I asked that about him, and he's like, yeah, I feel like the right is a bit more logical and things like that. You said the left is more emotional, so I feel like you think the right is more logical?
Yeah, I'd agree with that take.
Okay.
So the guy says he agrees more with the right. He agrees with everything on the right, except for what? He doesn't agree with ownership. That's the problem. He doesn't agree with ownership. And how do we know this with black conservatives, okay? Or how do we know this with the so-called black conservatives? You see, the one thing about the black church own what they have, okay? The black conservatives don't own anything. The Republican conservative ecosystem, Fox News, the Heritage Foundation, Turning Point USA is white or Jewish funded.
Point blank, period. That is a fact.
I mean, even the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, is owned by a Jewish person. Black conservatives are in this space as commentators or spokespeople.
You're pawns. He's not going to straight up say it. Maybe he will. But what it is you're pawns.
Never owners of the platforms, okay? Candace Owens built her fame inside of Turning Point USA, funded by right-wing donors. She wasn't funded through a black-owned machine. Now, you can argue and say that, hey, O'Shea is Dusty. You can say, Tariq or whoever else or Boyce is, not as big as any of those people. But whatever we have, we got it from you guys, okay? And so the people who can control our success is our people. But this is not what happens with black conservatives. A guy like Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, you're dependent on conservative infrastructure anyway. So what do you really have to lose? Well, you still don't own your stuff. You're still depending on somebody else to make decisions for you. So you're going from the Democrats to make decisions for you to Republicans to make decisions for you. And so when you position it like that, it's bad. Now, if we position it as we want to own our own community, and then we can be like the Jews and vote left.
Look at this. Like, look at this. This is a sea of lost people, man. This is a sea of lost people. Man.
Left or right, then it makes sense. But all of these guys who get their wake-up call and they're now on the right, all of them are down bad. You don't own anything. You don't have anything, okay? So what do you have to lose? Everything if you don't own anything. Brandon Tatum doesn't own anything. Candace Owens doesn't own anything. Not as black collectives. They're still being paid independently by whites. They have no infrastructure in what they're talking about. You know, if they were like the black church, something like that, it'd be different. But they are not. And ultimately what happens is nobody respects you if you don't have ownership. So just because you're a black guy and you're talking in the way you're talking about it now, they still don't respect you. Your community still doesn't have anything, and the black conservatives will get pushed around like anybody else. This is why whenever you hear Brandon Tatum say something that's wrong or something that doesn't make sense, or he starts pushing Israel, the whites will start coming after him and they'll start disrespecting him as if he's a nobody. Because in their camp, he is a nobody. He is a person that's just willing to say something for a check, and so he can't be trusted, right? He doesn't own anything. That's different than Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire, all right? That is very different. Ben Shapiro.
That was pretty funny. They're also just saying that because they don't respect black people. They don't respect black people, point blank period. They just use them as talking heads so they can say things that they would normally be heavily criticized if they said out loud themselves.
In the Daily Wire, they own what they have. They fund what they have. And until blacks on the left or to the right fund what you got, nobody takes you seriously, okay? So you still got everything to lose if you're not paying for anything. And I know I've taken criticism from people. Why did you vote for Trump? Well, okay, I understand what you're saying. Why did you vote for the left?
To avoid literally where we are right now, bro. That's why people voted. That's why. It's kind of saddening. Even our elders are this lost, man. What can I say? Well, listen, y'all. All right. Chat. This is where we at right now, man. This is where we are. A whole bunch of people who don't. I mean, the good news, the only really good news is that by the time like my generation and I guess like the like Gen Z, by the time we're, you know, O'Shea's age and all of that, things are gonna be quite a bit different. Like quite a little bit different. But until then, y'all keep fighting, bro. Always keep fighting. Listen, I'm gonna be pulling up again, streaming again in the very near future. I know Friday I'm gonna do a you laugh, you lose, man. If y'all got any videos y'all want me to see, make sure you send them over to me. But other than that, I'm Coach Day Live.